Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. The winner, the clear winner for the worst video game company of 2026, hand down, is Ubisoft. Ubisoft, however you want to pronounce it, I don't care. It doesn't matter. The company's a disaster. They didn't want any doubts. They didn't want any doubts on who the worst was, right? They capped off the year just before the year ended, just so you wouldn't have absolutely zero doubts on who the worst of the worst was. They get hacked. Their Rainbow Six Siege is hacked. Everything's gone to crap. The only thing going for them, man, when you don't have good leadership, when you have a lack of direction at the helm, man, it really shows, doesn't it? The corporate culture shines through any company, guys. When this is one of the fascinating things I like about, reading video game news and what have you, and being in the line of work that I am, a business analyst. I work behind the scenes a lot, evaluating companies, doing this and that and the other, and giving opinions of whether certain acquisitions are good or bad, right? And I rarely do ever talk to the individuals, other than superficially, that I'm evaluating, right? Just general questions, what have you, once we get to the audits, once we get to the nitty gritty, once we analyze the data, we make a determination. But when it's when it's Ubisoft, I mean, even a layman person can tell that there's something wrong, right? You make video games that nobody wants. You have Star Wars. Which would be a slam dunk, where you could make a quality game, and all you have to do with Star Wars, it's very simple. Any idiot can tell you, just give the people what they want. Give them the characters that they want. If Star Wars, started the original Han Solo, regardless if the game was a little janky at first or what have you, people would have been amazed. But what do? That's too simple for you, right? That's too simple for leadership. We have to have the consultants in our ear. You know what? No, forget that. Let's get a beautiful woman. Let's make her not that attractive, and then she can start in the game. Forget about money. This is not about money. It's about making a political point. Show everybody that that we're advanced. And look, guys, you can do a new character if it's a well-developed new story. Sure, you could do it. But when it comes to making this kind of investment with a franchise that's already established, you really have to give the people what they want. If you're really serious about doing something, progressive, you want to introduce a new character that is a woman, that is a minority, and all this stuff, write it out. Find good writers and create a brand new IP, and you can do it, but they won't do that. It's fake diversity. Ubisoft is the perfect example of how fake this diversity movement is, right? Diversity of these people is just getting the same people that have worked at the same places for a lot of years, having them paint their hair and get them a nose ring and what have you, and now you're diverse, and you're going, wait a minute, this still a white dude pretending to be a woman. This is still, a woman with purple hair. You're not actually hiring a talented female that is a minority, whether she's Asian. She can't be Asian because they're white adjacent, so it can't be Asian. Okay, so it has to be Latina, or it has to be African American, whatever. But they never do that. They still hire white people, just try and pretend they're minorities by shaving their head. This has been my forever criticism, right? There's great Hispanic game studios all over the world that you could hire if you really, really serious about this, but they're not. It's all pretend. It's all pretension. And this is the company that really embodies this fake diversity and this broken culture where you forget about the business. Business is secondary in your mind, right? You have idiots running the asylum here. You really do. Because if you can't protect the only thing that really is making you money long term, you've lost the plot of your company. Everybody, and I mean everybody, should be fired. If there's any board in here, if there are anybody with half a brain, Stevie Wonder could see these people are inept, that they're stupid, that they don't know what they're doing. You can do all these other woke things if you want as side projects, right? You can make them with cooperations of indie studios and do all this other crap, but you have to maintain your breadbasket, man. You have to maintain your money makers. You can't be letting go, right, of what makes the company healthy and everything else for doing these stupid projects. And we haven't even talked about Assassin's Shadows. Yeah, yeah, those other things would be bad enough. Like this other crap would have been bad enough. And we haven't even touched Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was the beginning of exposing this company for the trash leadership that they have. Right? You can't do this in a company. Don't, if you want to do all these other things, you can do them. And you can do them with the money that you have from your successful projects. You can cooperate and fund indie projects, as woke as you want and all this stuff, but you have to give your customers what they want. Not only that, you have to protect your customers. But if your customers are so far behind, this shows you how little regard they actually have for game players, that their security doesn't mean that much. You have to protect this. Companies are getting hacked all day. But for a company that has lost so much money, for a company that has actually halted trading, because they've been, quote unquote, cooking the books in order to make things look great when they're not. Right? Oh, this game is so successful. Assassin's Creed Shadows is so successful that we're laying people off, that we're shutting stuff down, that our stock is tanking. That's how successful Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows has been. This is the kind of business we're doing. What a trash company. Absolute garbage. And it's sad to see because we love their games. We've loved their games over the years. How can a company that has produced some of the best games that we've ever played, especially in the Xbox era, talking about, Pandora's Box, look, my Ghost Recons, here's Rainbow 3. I mean, just this section right here is full of games that people have loved over the years. And they've taken all that goodwill. And because of political visions of certain individuals, they have turned the company into trash, into the laughingstock of the gaming industry. This is just the worst job of leadership that I have ever seen in the whole time that I've been watching, and reading video game news. Yeah, there's other companies that have failed, but not on purpose, right? Companies that have said, no, we're not going to make any money just to make a point. We know that we could make more money, but we're not going to do it because we need to make this point. What is going on here? Somebody, Tencent, has to walk in here and just take it over and just, put these people, out in the street and put us as Ubisoft fans out of our misery because we can't take this shit no more, man. We can't take this shit no more. I can't take a Tom Clancy woke. What is he going to come out? Splinter Cell, Splinter Cell next? Is that going to make any sense? He's going to be wearing high heels? I don't know. I mean, nothing's out of the realm now. Nothing that this company could do or would do would surprise me now because it's so trash. I wouldn't give them worst company of the year. I would give them worst company of at least a decade. At least. This is the worst performance business-wise that I have ever seen from a company, and that's saying a lot with all the crap that's been going on in the video game industry. Unbelievable. Ubisoft is just trash.